Willie D Live.
What's up, family? There was a time when Donald Trump, your president, was running for president. Yeah, man. Well, I won't say running. He was more like walking. But he was campaigning for president. And he wanted your vote. At some point during his campaign, out of nowhere, he started ranting about how federal agents went inside of his Mar-a-Lago compound and searched the drawers of Melania, his wife, the first lady. They searched the drawers and found some drawers of hers. And Trump couldn't help but share the news. Check it out.
Ago, they went into my wife's closet, and I'll say this, number one, it's very bad, but it sounds a little strange. They looked at her drawers. You have drawer, and then you have drawer. They looked at both. And she's a very meticulous person, you know, like these people, it's just like she'd fit into your group very well. She'd be very happy with her, but everything is perfect.
I know what you're thinking, fam. Man, what's this got to do with anything? What I'm trying to show you, fam, is how hypocritical Donald Trump and the Republican Party is. How they made it tan suit gate when Barack Obama wore a tan suit. They made that out of the biggest thing. But here this man is talking about his wife's panties. He is the former president of the United States, and now he is the current president of the United States. And he's having a casual conversation in front of a crowd of a few hundred. He don't draw large crowds, but maybe there's a few million people watched it on TV and social media collectively. He's talking about his wife's panties. What woman would be okay with that, except perhaps a loose woman, a woman of the night or something? So I just wanted to show y'all, fam, the inconsistencies and how the double standards that they use, and how these people in the audience are just laughing their heads off when we know if it was the other way around and it was Barack Obama or Joe Biden or any other Democratic guy, they would be losing their minds talking about wholesome American values, wholesome American family values.
Her undergarments, I want to use this, sometimes referred to as panties, are folded, perfect, wrapped. They're like so perfect. I say, that's beautiful. It's the part of the world she came from. Everything was perfect, no problem. Fold, fold, fold. I think that she steams them, make sure. Just that it. We came home. I wasn't there when the raid took place. The raid of a popular president, a former president. She opened the drawers and it was not that way. They were a mess. It was all over the place. And she said, oh, what happened? That's so terrible. But it's terrible. They went into my young boy's room. These thugs are disgusting, and we cannot let them get away with this stuff. We have all the evidence now. We have all the evidence, and we have to do something about it. We have to do something about it. It's illegal and it's disgusting.
I've come to the conclusion that Trump, deep down inside, would not mind being a comedian. I mean, a stand-up comedian. Because this dude has to know that a lot of what he says is clown material. I mean, yeah, not saying that comedians are clowns, but he would be one of those comedians who would be a clown. Yeah. Fam, I don't know what to tell you. He's the president of the United States. And this is the type of stuff he says so frequently that it doesn't even surprise anybody. In fact, it don't even make the news anymore, because that's another reason why I'm speaking on it now, because I just came across this video. I had never seen it before. But that just goes to show you how much really uncivilized material is out there on him. Donald Trump is nothing short of a sociopath. He goes from talking about his wife's panties one moment to bombing a country the next moment. The same country that elected this dude twice wants to tell other countries how to run their affairs. Isn't that funny? Like, and how come the other countries aren't speaking out more about this type of stuff? They see the hypocrisy known as America on a daily basis. But it's like they just church mouse quiet. And the only time even the big ones will say something about America is when America says something about them. America should be under constant scrutiny from other countries. And the UN, I'm not even tripping that the United States left the UN, because the UN was useless anyway. The UN never stood up for anything outside of their own interest. They've never stood up for people around the world who have been oppressed. They never stood against colonization. The UN has always been useless. So I don't feel sorry for what they're going through over there. Hey, man, pick your jaw up off the floor. I don't feel nothing. I'm going to tell you at this point, fam, when you see Trump doing anything, just smile and back up slowly, because disaster is on the way. Absolutely. The whine and the noise that you hear from this dude on a daily basis, all he does is complain. And then he complains about people who complains about him. All they do, not just him, but all they do is complain all day. And got the nerve to call somebody else a complainer. As always, Trump is making up stories and ratting along. Does anybody out here or out there believe that Melania irons her own panties? Now, I wouldn't be surprised if her panties are ironed, but why would you need to iron panties anyway? That's, why? It just seems like to me, like if you know how to wash clothes, you put them in the washing machine and then you dry them at a certain temperature. And then also, you got to think about the quality that you're buying. If you're buying quality drawers, then you shouldn't be having problems with wrinkles and things of that nature. And who has ever really cared about wrinkled drawers anyway? Yeah. Well, I guess some people would if they, like a lot of these chicks, they taking off their clothes on their Instagram now and TikTok. So I guess they probably would be. Some of them might be concerned. But wow. But what a weirdo, fam. If Biden spoke like that, man, the right would go nuts. What leader talks about things like this besides him? I can guarantee you, without even doing research, I can bet everything that I've ever had or that I ever will have going forward, everything I love, that there has never been in the history of civilization a president who talked about his wife's panties. He said that the federal agents went through and examined her panties. The federal agents went through and they looked at everything. They searched everything. They treated her like a common criminal, like they do criminals. They search everybody's stuff. So the fact that her panties just happened to be in the drawer, I don't think that they went in there looking for where's Melania drawer panty. You know, where's her panty drawer? You know, where's her panties drawer? You know, I don't think that happened. I think they opened the drawer and they saw her panties. Maybe they picked them up because they got some freaks that work for them too, but maybe they didn't. In any event, it doesn't matter. Like, that's one of those things that you just kind of keep to yourself, unless you walked in and you saw them and you saw one of them wearing her panties, had her panties on her head or something like that, you know, and now you're getting into some really, really sketchy territory. But what weirdo speaks like that about his wife? There's something definitely wrong with Trump. I know some of y'all think, man, what proof? What proof? What proof? You know what? I ain't even got to say nothing else, fam. All I got, I'm just going to end it with this. Crimes against children is wrong and disgusting. No more talk.